Welcome back to the Inner Circle Show. In the world of Palantir, we have had Palantir stock reach new highs. We've also had a new indirect partnership that I want to speak about, and we now know when to expect the Q2 earnings. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you do not miss an upload Monday through Friday. So yesterday was quite an exciting day if you follow Palantir stock. If you're someone that likes to check in on how the stock is doing each and every day, which, I put my hands up, I do that. I don't really care about the short-term movements that much, but I definitely have an interest into what's happening. I know that as a long-term investor, I shouldn't be checking my portfolio or the stocks every day. But I think when you're a little bit of a nerd and you're a little bit obsessed with the stock market and particular companies, you just do that anyway. So anyway, it was quite exciting. We saw Palantir stock hit $29 per share, which as far as I'm aware is a 52-week high. Now, although it didn't close at $29 or above $29, it's still doing very well. For me right now, it's currently pre-market on the 16th of July. So let's just check in on the stock and take a look at what's happening. So at the moment, Palantir stock is $28.67 per share. And you can see pre-market is down slightly, $28 exactly right now per share. So if we look over the last 5 days, it's been a little bit up, a little bit down, but it is exciting to see these $29 price points being reached. Like I said, if we zoom out to a 1 year period, you can see that that is a 52-week high. If we now zoom out to we'll max it out here, we can see that we haven't quite managed to regain the all-time highs, but we are making progress. We are definitely getting there. And who knows what will happen after maybe an S&P 500 inclusion, more big deals on government and commercial side, and of course the Q2 earnings, which we will come to towards the end of this video. So we have been seeing some momentum and some increase in Palantir's stock price recently. Over the last 1 month, I believe it's up by about 14 or 15%, which is pretty decent. And over the last year to date, 1 year, it's doing very, very well. So why is this? Well, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, this is multifactorial. This is not just due to one single event. Of course, we've got macroeconomic factors. We've also got the increasing threat of potential geopolitical issues and other issues. Of course, we've had the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. This might be playing into it a little bit as well. We've had institutional ownership increasing, which I did speak about yesterday, and we've got the Q2 earnings that are upcoming. And we've also had a pretty substantial deal recently, which again I did speak about yesterday, which was the Oracle and Palantir partnership, which we heard about for the first time in April earlier this year. But we've also recently heard about how they're setting this partnership in stone. And that's a really important collaboration. It's a really, really positive, interesting partnership that us Palantir investors definitely should care about. But on top of this Oracle deal, we've also had an indirect collaboration. And this came out about 7 or 8 days ago or so, and it's not really been spoken about all that much. So I just want to spend some time quickly explaining what this partnership is and why it's important. So before we get on to explaining what this indirect partnership exactly is, we must first understand what Athenia is. Athenia, put simply, as far as I understand, is a platform designed specifically for the semiconductor industry. And it leverages both AI and big data to address challenges found particularly in this sector. And I'm talking about challenges such as chip shortages, supply chain transparency issues, quality problems, and time to market. So this platform was actually created in collaboration with Merck. So it's Palantir and Merck coming together to actually design and execute this platform. And actually, it's really important to note, in case you're unaware, that Palantir actually have a few of these sector-specific platforms already. For example, they have Skywise. Skywise is a platform that was built on Foundry, so it's a Palantir initiative along with Airbus. They've come together for a platform designed specifically for the aviation industry. We've also got Surgeons. This is in collaboration with Concordance, and again, this is specific for the healthcare supply chain sector. So Athenia is kind of like Surgeons and Skywise at a very high level, but it's a specific solution to tackle the challenges found within the semiconductor industry. So now we know what Athenia is, let me now tell you about this indirect partnership for Palantir. So like I said, this partnership did get announced on July the 8th, so we're a little bit behind here by about a week or so, but it's still important to cover and it doesn't seem like many people are speaking about this. So let's just see what's happening. So ASNA, ASNA, which is the Applied Seals NA, North America, I think that stands for, and Athenia have collaborated to boost semiconductor manufacturing yields through improved data sharing and traceability of subcomponent parts. Today, Athenia announced a collaboration with ASNA to combine unprecedented data sharing and traceability to improve critical semiconductor component and subcomponent innovation. In today's fiercely competitive semiconductor landscape, the quality and reliability of components and subcomponents are paramount for achieving superior yield rates and minimizing defects during manufacturing. So this right here is what Palantir through Athenia are really trying to promote with this specific partnership. So then it goes on to tell us what ASNA actually are. They're a pioneering force in the semiconductor manufacturing components segment. That is quite a mouthful. And they've combined forces with Athenia, which of course is a collaboration that Palantir is involved with, a platform that Palantir has created alongside Merck. So that's important to remember. It's like an indirect partnership here. The secure data and analytics platform for the semiconductor industry to introduce a revolutionary concept aimed at tracking previously untraceable parts through the entire life cycle of the parts. This innovative initiative is confirming the significance of traceability and analytics for consumable parts in boosting yield and reducing defectivity within fabrication processes. Athenia plays a pivotal role in this endeavor by enabling traceability, comprehensive data analytics, and multi-party data sharing to provide a comprehensive understanding for each part's performance on yield in the manufacturing process. As a result, ASNA can see a full view of how to improve parts, delivering a lower cost of ownership with better fab performance to their customers. So some of that was quite technical and quite specific to the semiconductor industry, of course, but I guess the whole point is that this is just another example of Palantir working within different industries, expanding their reach, and another example of them collaborating with a knowledgeable leader, this time with Merck, to create platforms specific to solve sector particular pain points. And just like we've seen with both Skywise and Surgeons, I think as Palantir shareholders, we can very much expect as time goes on for more semiconductor companies to actually want to work with Athenia. And you know, if we roll back to the past, we rewind a little bit back to July 2022, we actually heard that Micron was partnering with Athenia as well. Although we don't always hear about and get visibility into these indirect partnerships that Palantir are having through these sector-specific platforms like Skywise, Surgeons, Athenia, whatever other ones there are, they are really important because ultimately this is another way that Palantir are expanding their market reach, another way that they are building credibility, another way that they are proving their value. And of course, although we don't have the exact numbers, this is going to somewhat impact Palantir's revenue and the numbers. You know, this is all very, very important. We have also now heard that Palantir's Q2 earnings for the second quarter ending the 30th of June are going to be released on August the 5th following market close. Now, I'm not going to look too much into the fact that these earnings are being released after the market closes rather than pre-market. People do look into this, and I have spoken about this before and what this could mean. I'm just going to take it at face value. You know, they're coming out market close. Great. I'm very excited to see the numbers and in particular to hear the commentary that is given, the guidance that is given. You know, earnings seasons before for Palantir have, you know, some of them have been pretty crazy in the past. For example, the Q4 earnings, the ones that got released on the 5th of February, I want to say. My birthday's the 3rd of February, so I took this as a nice little birthday surprise. But the stock went up by like 46% in the 4 days following. So, you know, it can be very volatile. Any stock can be volatile around earnings seasons. Bear that in mind. And I am actually going to make a whole separate video on my thoughts and my expectations for these earnings before they actually come out. So do let me know if you want that in the comments below. When earnings are expected, investors get a chance to actually ask questions. Some of these questions, depending on how many shares you own or how many people vote for these questions, actually get put forward to the team doing the earnings. So in the case of Palantir, you would have Alex Karp and all these great people, and some of them actually get answered. Obviously, right now it's still quite early, and I expect more questions to be submitted, more to be upvoted, and these might not necessarily be the questions that actually get put forward. But let's just take a look at what questions have been asked so far. So you can filter this on recommended, top voted, most shared, or the newest questions. We'll just leave it on recommended. Like I said, this is going to change over time as we approach the earnings. But right now we've got a question of when can we expect exponential growth? We've got, does Palantir plan on paying shareholders dividends? Now, I very much think the answer to this one is going to be no, we don't at this current stage. It's still early days for Palantir, and they very much, in my opinion, should be using that money to reinvest back into the company's growth, not really taking a portion of that and paying shareholders dividends at the moment. That's just my opinion, and I think that is probably what Palantir are thinking. What does Palantir's growth look like in the next 5 years? Wouldn't we all like to know? My answer to this question would just to be, look at what they're solving, look at the implications that they're actually having, the real world impacts that they are having on both government and enterprises. Look at the way that the world's set up. What are we moving towards? Not just macroeconomic situations in terms of interest rates and stuff like that, inflation, but more so the landscape, the geopolitical issues that Palantir are able to get involved with and hopefully help the right people solve. And then obviously as well, enterprises. Are enterprises looking for AI solutions? Are they looking to understand their data? Is that a competitive advantage? All of these things come into play. And are Palantir actually being governed by the right things? Do they have the right leadership team to drive that growth? Are they positioning themselves well? How do you plan to keep the growth of your company going? That kind of feeds into that one. What is the company's goal by 2030? Does Palantir have any immediate or near future plans to acquire additional companies or competitors? This would be very, very interesting. I would like to hear the answer to this. However, I don't think they're ever going to come out, even if they do have plans, and say, yes, we are planning to acquire X company on this date, because obviously it has to go through all of the paperwork, all of the proper pathways and legal requirements and whatnot. But maybe, who knows? How does Palantir plan on integrating AI into their business model? I don't really understand that question. I think they've spoken about AI at length, so I don't know. Is Palantir more focused on growth in the government sector or civilian market in the future? What strategies does Palantir employ to attract and retain top talent in a highly competitive tech industry? I think they mean maybe employees rather than attracting companies to work with them. People want to work for Palantir now. To get into Palantir and work with Palantir is extremely difficult. The recruitment process, I think, is very, as far as I understand, is very difficult at the moment, and I think it will only continue to be that way. People are wanting to work for a company that is actually making a difference. What will Palantir announce a new product anytime soon? These are some interesting questions, and like I said, you can sort them on top voted and most shares. But this will change. I do like to keep my eyes on this as we approach earnings. Let me know if you want me to make a whole separate video on what I'm expecting from the earnings as we approach that. And also let me know what you think. What you think we are going to see in both the stock and the actual numbers at the Palantir report. So with all that said, I invite you to leave your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in tomorrow's.